some of the finest jazz you'll ever hear in Honeydew Falls, New York. We have a second video clip to show to introduce this next piece, because before this piece was a jazz ensemble composition written by a former student of Fred's, David Springfield. Before it was that, it was a wind ensemble. It has been a wind ensemble composition arranged by Tom Davis, who's playing in our trumpet section and was featured earlier. And before it was that, it was a solo piece written by Fred Sturm for piano. So we're going to cue up a short video in which Fred was invited to introduce this piece at Lawrence University with the wind ensemble there at Lawrence performing it. You'll see and hear his character, even though at this point he was not feeling well at all.
You stole all my thunder, Andy. I have a short story for you with 4 Lawrence alumni connections in it. I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and at the lowest point in that long journey, an amazing gentleman by the name of Dr. Chris Jankowski up at the Mayo Clinic had heard about my situation, and within a matter of hours, he had me on my way to Rochester, Minnesota, and put me in touch with one of their top surgeons and one of their top oncologists, and they saved my life. And long before, Dr. Chris Jankowski was the Dr. Chris Jankowski, a world-renowned anesthesiologist at the Mayo Clinic. He was a trumpet and composition student right here at Lawrence. And he played in my jazz ensemble, along with his beautiful wife, Jenny Janisch, and they both played in this amazing wind ensemble together. And when it came time for me to be discharged from the Mayo Clinic, Chris sat next to me and said, all right, here's what you're gonna do. Breath by breath, hour by hour, day by day. And I never forgot that. And some months later, I tried to figure a way to thank them, Chris and Janine, for all that they did for Susie and I. And of course, there aren't any words or gifts that you can come up with in a situation like that. So I did what I do. I composed a trumpet and saxophone duet for them, and I called it Breathing. That was in 2007. And the years went by, and I forgot about that little piece. And last summer, I came across it again, and I thought, you know, it might make a nice little solo piano piece. And so I asked my great friend, my former student, and my current Lawrence Jazz faculty colleague, Patty Darling, if she would do a solo piano recording of it, and it's exquisitely beautiful and very touching. So the day after I heard that performed by Patty, I knew that it might have a life at some point beyond that. Little did I know, earlier in the winter of this past year, I got an email from one of my very first students here at Lawrence, a fellow by the name of Kurt Eckhart. And Kurt was a senior finishing up his degrees here at Lawrence in my rookie year on the faculty. And we've stayed in touch now for 36 years. For about the last decade and a half, he has been the band director at Newtown, Connecticut High School. And the day after that unspeakable tragedy, he sent me an email and he said, is there anything that you can think of that would be healing for my students, because there just aren't any words. And so I went through my collection of things, and everything fell so short. And then I found that little recording of Patty's, and I thought, I think I'll send that out to them. And I did. It had a special place for them the next couple of days. And later that week, I was in touch with one of my old graduate school buddies, a great New York teacher, composer, and arranger by the name of Tom Davis. I told him the story that I just told you. And Tom said, I'd like to orchestrate that, arrange that for wind ensemble. And I couldn't believe that he wanted to do that. And in a matter of 4 or 5 days, Tom had the whole thing mapped out. It was so beautiful. And we decided we were going to send it to Newtown, to Kurt, and to the wind ensemble there, so that they'd have an opportunity to perform it. And I just heard from Kurt this week that they're going to perform it again next week at a concert at Newtown High School. So you can imagine what that meant to me and to Tom. So it's a great privilege for me to be able to introduce this piece, the premiere here at Lawrence of this little work, and arranged and orchestrated by my friend Tom Davis, conducted by Andy the Bro Mast, and performed by this incredible ensemble. What a storied year that they've had. And for me to be able to have something of mine performed in this amazing season that they've had this year is such a great privilege. So I hope you'll enjoy Breathing. Thank you.